Before that, the driver of the bus that swerved to avoid a woman who fell into the road after she was pushed by a jogger on a bridge in London says it wasn't until he saw the footage that he realised how close she was to being hit.
Violence against women by men, random acts of violence.
I think it was about 2 months later, the police had only just released the grainy CCTV footage captured from the bus ahead. And then after that, the story just went viral.
The issue was the jogger did have space on either side.
It was the lightning-quick reactions of Oliver Salbris that saved the woman's life. Now he wants the jogger to come forward to explain why he did it as well.
He blithely ran on and never looked back. If the driver hadn't swerved to avoid her, she'd have been killed instantly.
It's a tale for a modern age. It was around 7:40 a.m. on May the 5th, 2017, the driver, Oliver Salbris, pulled the number 430 bus out from stop FE on Putney Bridge, heading south. Traffic is slow in London at that time of day, so he couldn't have been doing more than around 12 miles an hour. If the bus had been moving any faster, then things might have played out very differently.
1 minute the road was clear, the next the woman was falling into the bus's path.
Salbris swerved. He barely missed the woman. And it was only when CCTV footage of the incident was released to the media that August that he saw how narrowly catastrophe had been avoided. The woman's fall was no accident. The bus's dashboard footage revealed frame by frame what had happened. A jogger can be seen running in the opposite direction. Although his face is obscured, there's a decent enough outline to work with. He's a stocky white male with short brown hair and brown eyes, wearing a dark blue shorts and a grey t-shirt.
In the weeks and months after the CCTV footage was released in August 2017, London's Metropolitan Police worked through a list of 50 suspects and arrested 3 men, who were eventually released without charge. An American banker, who later provided an alibi showing he was in California at the time, received so many social media death threats that he felt compelled to hire a security detail and go into hiding.
This is the man police have arrested and charged for being behind this shocking incident of a jogger pushing a woman, which almost turned tragic. His name is Eric Belquist, and he's a wealthy American investment banker. Only problem is, the accused Putney Bridge pusher claims he can't be that man in the video because he wasn't even in London when it happened. Lawyers representing Belquist tweeted out, Eric Belquist, who was arrested yesterday in retaliation to an assault that took place on Putney Bridge, has been wrongly implicated. He categorically denies being the individual concerned and has irrefutable proof that he was in the US at the time of the incident.
As he runs towards the woman, he seems to make a decision. In one stride, he's next to her, arms outstretched. After shoving her into the path of the bus, he carries on running without a backwards glance.
He jogged back 15 minutes later, ignoring his shaken victim's attempts to confront him. For a while, the strange case of the Putney Pusher, a moniker invented by the press, was big news. It made the national news and was quickly picked up by various online forums devoted to speculation surrounding the man's motives and identity. But 4.5 years later, the seemingly straightforward identification case remains unsolved. The man was never caught, despite London's vast array of CCTV cameras and a swell of public outrage.
I became obsessed, watching the film over and over, to uncover the millisecond that would explain this confounding interaction. I was about as successful in finding an answer as the police were in finding the jogger. On he ran. Down she fell to a narrow brush with death. And despite months of false leads and public outcry, the jogger was never caught. Her identity is unknown. People like myself, you want to figure things out. You can't just let things go. It's a living thing you feed and breed to get answers for. You've got to be extremely careful not to get too attached. You also have to be really careful not to accuse people, especially publicly. That's really dangerous and can lead to criminal charges. We do know this. As the bus driver ran to her assistance, he heard her cry, "Why me? Why me? Why me?"
Reading through the mass of theories, patterns emerge. The man is likely affluent, perhaps working in financial services or similar. He might be a tourist or he could be local. His actions clearly show a terrible disregard for human life. He may well be a sociopath. At the end of 2018, a body language expert even told The Sun that the Pusher's running style suggested pent-up anger, or even someone who works under pressure. But what does the brief CCTV clip really show?
It reveals a bizarre act of apparently random violence, not a complete psychological profile. The idea that a bloodthirsty banker is or was running the streets of suburban southwest London might be imaginally satisfying, however thin the actual proof. The lack of hard evidence is what makes the mystery.